Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the San Gabriel City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. I call this regular meeting to order at 6:51 p.m. We just finished our closed session, and to provide a closed session report, I will now ask our City Attorney Keith Lemire to give us a report.
Certainly, Madam Mayor and Council. The City Council met in closed session to discuss one item, which was litigation as identified on the agenda for the special meeting. The City Council received a report from special counsel. No reportable action took place. Madam Mayor, that concludes the report.
Thank you. Next, our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Ding.
Please rise. Face the flag, place your right hand over your heart, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Ding. Roll call, please.
Mayor Menchaca,
Here.
Vice Mayor Liao,
Here.
Councilmember Ding,
Here.
Councilmember Harrington,
Here.
Councilmember Pu.
Here.
Okay. We will start with some announcements from our Chief City Clerk, Sharon Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and our online platforms. Please email all public comments to cityclerk@sgch.org no later than the time the item is considered by the council tonight. Comments will be read for up to 3 minutes each. Comments received after the end of the public comment section will be forwarded to the City Council after the meeting.
Our approval of agenda order. Are there any objections to the agenda order? Hearing none, the agenda order is approved. Next item, please.
Ma'am, I think Sharon's having some technical difficulties.
Okay, well, I'll proceed. So we'll continue. Next item is presentations, and that would be employee awards. Is Sharon back yet? Okay, well then I will continue on. So the Employee Service Awards presentation will be made by myself, Mayor Menchaca, and the Employee Recognition Awards presentation will be made by City Manager Lazaretto. So let me start off by saying that annually, for those who have been with us every year during this time, we honor employees who dedicated years of service to the city and those whose contributions to the city and workplace deserve special recognition. Unfortunately, this year, we are unable to hold our traditional in-person ceremony to recognize our service and recognition award recipients. However, we have put together a slideshow showcasing our award recipients. And so if you look at the slideshow there, and I know the public can also see it. Thank you for those who put this together. So we will begin. I believe it's the next slide. There we go. So we will begin with our 5-year service award. The recipients are Officer Joshua Borup from our police department, Officer Gilbert Magana from our police also, Accountant Rosella Manalei, finance, and lastly, our maintenance worker, Pedro Sigala from our public works. And at this time, would any of the awardees in the 5-year category like to say a few words?
Ma'am, I don't believe we have any of those folks online.
Okay, then we'll continue on. We didn't have any 10-year, so we'll now go to our 15-year service awards. The recipients are Executive Assistant Melanie Benson, Human Resources, Sergeant Nat Wynn from our police department, Captain Sean Irwin from our fire, Executive Assistant Judy Liu from our police, and lastly, maintenance lead person Steve Valdez from our public works. Would any of the awardees in the 15-year category like to say a few words? I see none. Okay, well then we'll continue on. Next category is our 20-year service awards. The recipients are Lieutenant Cruz Hernandez from police, Captain Kevin Murphy from our fire, and Officer Vincent Salazar from our police also. Are any of them present today who would like to say a few words? Okay, I don't see any. And then our final service award category is our 25-year service award. And the recipients are firefighter Kurt Golderman from fire and community service officer Irene Paquez from our police. Are any of the awardees in this category like to say anything? I see none. Well, I just want, on behalf of the council, congratulate and thank you for your services of outstanding service. Well appreciated. And now City Manager Lazaretto will present the Employee Recognition Award.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. This year, we're honoring 10 city employees, and they're being acknowledged tonight for their achievements in leadership, customer service, innovation, teamwork, emergency response, community service, outstanding part-time performance, and overall work performance. So we're going to begin tonight with our Leadership Award. And this award specifically recognizes employees who, through their continued performance, move the organization towards accomplishing its goals and objectives. This year's Leadership Award recipients are Michael Robledo and Jordan Miller of our fire department. And Michael and Jordan are being recognized for their efforts as part of the city's paramedic preceptor team. By working together, this team successfully trained 2 paramedic interns, teaching them how to remain calm in life-threatening situations, appropriately calculating medications when time is of the essence, and remaining safe in dynamic situations, and promoting confidence in their students. And I've met a couple of those students, and also Michael and Jordan, and both of them do a phenomenal job. So with that, I'd like to congratulate Michael and Jordan for their award. And both of those employees have been presented with that award earlier today as part of their department celebration that we held. I don't believe either of them are on at this point. Are either of them on? All right, so we will move on then to our Customer Service Award. This award recognizes efforts that generate significant or lasting positive public relations for the city. This year, we have 2 award recipients for the Customer Service Award. The first is Julie Garcia of our Finance Department. And Julie is being recognized for her professionalism and her focused efforts to modify current procedures for revenue and cash collection during the COVID-19 crisis while maintaining a willing and cheerful attitude. And what that means is that Julie spent a heck of a lot of time in a very short amount of time figuring out how to change the way we do business so that during COVID we could provide services. During this time period, we processed a ton of business license renewals, parking permits, and all sorts of other transactions that Julie has had an incredible attitude as she has figured out a new way of doing things. The second individual is Jessica Zhao from our city clerk department. And Jessica is being recognized for her above and beyond willingness to ensure continuity of excellent service. She has a proactive approach to satisfying customer service needs and maintains a positive attitude towards everyone she encounters. And she happens to sit at the first desk you see when you come into City Hall. And in normal times, she's the cheerful face that helps folks. But in COVID times, she's the one that answers the door and lets folks in. And she does a phenomenal job of being a gatekeeper while also providing customer service and making appointments for folks. Both of these 2, Julie and Jessica, have gone way above and beyond during our current crisis, and that's why they're being recognized. And I think both of them are on the line. So Julie, do you have a couple of words to say?
Hi, Mark. Hello. I just want to say thank you for the recognition and all the support. It wasn't just me. We have a really good team, and I'm really glad that we were able to achieve a lot of the goals that we had set during this COVID crisis. And again, I appreciate the recognition. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Jessica, are you on the line?
Hello, thank you so much, everyone. I'm so happy to be part of my team here, and I will continue to serve the community to the best of my ability. And I'm just so happy to be a part of the team here in San Gabriel. I'm really thankful for everyone. So thank you.
And thank you both for all that you do. So our next award, and by the way, council, please at the end, we'll have time for you all to make comments. So I apologize for speeding through this. Next is our Innovation Award. This award recognizes employees for suggestions or actions that have resulted in a cost savings, service improvement, or an improvement in the work environment. And this year's Innovation Award recipient is Claudia Gellin of our Economic Development Division in our Community Development Department. And Claudia is being recognized for all of her efforts in the Economic Development Division this year, leading on several programs and finding innovative resources and solutions to adapt and continue conducting business during the COVID-19 crisis. And Claudia and her team completely revamped how we do economic development during COVID-19 and came up with innovative strategies and a 10-point plan that I'm very, very proud to say, and you should as well, council, be proud to say that there are several cities that are stealing our ideas and implementing them in their cities as well. And I think that's the highest form of flattery. And Claudia and the rest of her team were able to come up with these things on the fly and have done a phenomenal job in doing that. So with that, I'd like to recognize Claudia, and I think she's on the line and would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mark. I just feel very blessed to work for an organization who supports new ideas and creativity. And I certainly know that none of what I accomplished this year would have been possible without the leadership and support I have. So thank you all.
Thanks, Claudia. So next up is our Teamwork Award. And this award recognizes a team or an individual for superior performance outcomes and recognizes the importance of team participation to the future success of our city. This year's Teamwork Award recipient is Christina Alatorre of our Community Services Department. And you'll notice a theme, all of our recipients this year have done a phenomenal, or a lot of our recipients have done a phenomenal job of persevering and redoing the way they conduct their work during COVID-19, and Christina's no exception for that. She took her team, and where we used to give out 35 or 40 meals a day to our deserving senior citizens, at the height of the pandemic, we were delivering 250 meals a day, a couple of times a week. And she and her team did that and added that to the duties that they were doing and did that without skipping a step. Without her team's assistance, the department would not have been able to meet that high demand. And once the program transitioned to a pickup service under her supervision, the lifeguards that she had co-opted to help her with that service returned to programming, swim instruction, and also following all the county guidelines for reopening the pool. And so she and her team were able to do that, again, without skipping a beat. And so for that, I'd like to congratulate Christina. And I think Christina was going to be on the line. Christina, are you here?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hi, Mark. I just want to thank my community services team. I'd like to thank you and the City of San Gabriel and our council for being supportive of all of our programs during this time.
Thanks, Christina. Appreciate that. So our next award is the Community Service Award. And this, the Emergency Response Award. I skipped one. This award recognizes safety or non-safety employees who demonstrated outstanding effort that minimized or solved a serious work-related problem. And this year's Emergency Response Award recipient is Enrique de Anda of our police department. Officer de Anda is being recognized for the life-saving action he took during an active shooter incident that occurred on August 11th, 2020. When officers responded to an active shooter call, they noticed a victim with multiple gunshot wounds. Realizing the severity of the situation that the victim was in, due to a major blood loss from his wounds, Officer Deonda acted without hesitation and applied a tourniquet to the victim to stop the bleeding. He then continued to assist in the search for the shooter. Officer Deonda's quick response, recognition to the severity of a medical emergency, and the effective application of the tourniquet under demanding conditions resulted in saving the victim's lives. I also want to point out that Officer Deonda did that. He used his only tourniquet, and because it was still an active shooter situation, his life was then in jeopardy because he would not have been able to take care of himself should something have happened. So he definitely put his life on the line for that victim. So for that, we would like to recognize his efforts. I don't believe he's on the line, but Enrique, if you're on the line, can you speak up? All right, thanks. So moving on to our Community Service Award. This award recognizes employees who show a commitment to serving our community at work and beyond. And this year's Community Service Award recipient is Matthew Morales Stevens of our Community Services Department. Matthew is being recognized for all his efforts to provide meals to our senior residents during the COVID-19 crisis. His initiation of a meal delivery program, which then transitioned into a coordinated drive-through meal distribution, provided meals for over 250 seniors in need. With that, we'd love to thank Matthew for that. And Matthew, are you on the line tonight? All right, moving on to our Outstanding Part-Time Performance Award. This award specifically recognizes part-time employees for their exemplary service and actions viewed by fellow employees and external customers. This year's Outstanding Part-Time Performance Award recipient is Joe Farrell of our Mission Playhouse. In addition to overseeing part-time ushers and our front of the house staff, Joseph is being recognized for utilizing his graphic skills to enhance publicity at the Mission Playhouse by creating show posters, working on the quarterly brochure, redesigning the Mission Playhouse website, as well as assisting our Economic Development Division by creating materials to promote San Gabriel businesses. And once again, Joe did all of this and changed his skills over during coronavirus and helped us quite a bit with our messaging and our outreach to our community. Moving on to our final award of the night, it's for our Overall Work Performance Award. And this award recognizes employees for those exemplary service and actions viewed by fellow employees and external customers. These awards, all of the awards that I've given out, and this one as well, are all voted on and nominated by employees. So it's very special for these folks to be nominated and awarded by their peers. This year's Overall Work Performance Award recipient is our own John Fu of the Administration Department. Jonathan is our city's PIO, and he's being recognized for being a valuable asset to the city. He works with each and every department to coordinate messaging to the San Gabriel community through all available social mediums. This year, he developed a new blog for the city entitled Inside San Gabriel. He implemented the city council meeting video streaming, the emergency messaging and notification system, and successfully conducted the educational outreach for Measure SG. He also performs outside the normal functions of a PIO, often assisting with technology challenges. His overall commitment to the city makes him worthy of this award recognition. And I'd like to personally thank John because of the countless hours he's put in, not only during the regular time, but during COVID, he has been invaluable, as all of our employees have been, but John particularly, and the late nights he's put in, making sure that all of our messaging to the business community and our community is done accurately and in a timely manner. So with that, I'd like to thank John, and I'm going to put you on the spot, John, and ask if you'd like to say a couple words.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, Mayor, members of council. I appreciate the recognition, but I'd also like to recognize some of my colleagues who I think have been pretty instrumental in our communications programs. For our emergency communications program, I'd like to recognize Sergeant Gomez, Lieutenant Captain Negretti, and Detective Logan. Many of these folks have been incredibly instrumental in trying to get the message out during crises. I also like to recognize some team members for a new marketing group that we're hoping to roll out in the coming weeks. This includes Dominica from Community Development, Lucy from Community Services, and Elias and Joe from the Mission Playhouse. I'd like to thank my colleagues in general, but in particular, I'd like to thank Mark, Nancy, Marilyn, and Adam, and of course, the executive team for their support. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, John. And Mayor, I just want to point out that all of these employees were given their awards earlier today as part of individual department, socially distant department celebrations for these folks. It's a sad indication of where we are that we're not able to all gather and honor these employees. But I promised everyone that next year when we can all gather, we will have a shindig for them to properly congratulate them. And with that, I'd be happy to turn it back over to Mayor Menchaca and the council for any questions. For any comments that you would like to make. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I wanted to also share, in the past, we've had all the awardees, whether it was their years of service or a special recognition, they would have their families, they would have friends who would come, and it was a big celebration. But obviously, all of us are being as responsible as we can. And so I do look forward to next year's event where maybe we'll just do 2 years worth of recognition. But I will turn it, before I say any other comments, I'll turn it to my colleagues to see if they have any further comments they would like to make to our awardees tonight. Vice Mayor Lau.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to congratulate all the awardees. And also, we want to thank every one of you for your dedicated services to the city of St. Gabriel. Without your services, the city cannot thrive. So yeah, we're very grateful. Thank you.
Councilmember Pu.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I also want to just say congratulations and thank you to all of the employees who reached significant milestones in their careers with us here in the organization, and also to the employees receiving special recognitions. Obviously, this has been a very difficult year for all of us. The fact that there's so many members of our team that have gone above and beyond the call of duty and continue to provide excellent service is a testament to the San Gabriel team, and I'm proud to be part of this team. And I just want all the employees and those receiving special recognition to know that it's sincerely appreciated by the council, and more importantly, it's sincerely appreciated by the community. Your dedication, hard work, and service have gone a long way in helping to make this period of time of multiple crises just a little bit better, a little bit easier to get through. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Pu. Anyone else? Councilmember Harrington.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to echo what my fellow council members have said. We only get to do this one time a year to show our appreciation, and the service awards show it's two ways that the city is a good place to work, as well as we have dedicated employees. So I like to see the people hit their milestones. It's nice to see that. I've been here for a while now and seen a lot of people come and go, but we are pretty steady as far as cities go. I really like that. It's a good place to work, and it's a good place to be. And as far as the those acknowledged for their exceptional service, especially during this year, it's really nice to see some of the innovation, overcoming some challenges and obstacles. It shows we do have a dedicated team, and I really want to thank everybody, whether you received an award tonight or not. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Ding.
Yeah, okay, congratulations all the reward recipients. Yeah, okay, for me, it's just this year coming on board. Okay, give me that a very good impress the city, the team. It's a good work, especially we are in the pandemic. Still like keep our community. It's keep the city running, community safety. So I congratulations received also thanks all the employee to during the pandemic to help our community still smoothly the running everything operation. So yeah, so I really appreciate the whole city, the teamwork. Thank you all.
Thank you. And I believe all these awards and the slideshow will be on our website. So our employees will also be getting further recognition there, so the community could could see them and connect with them. I'm sure they've been helped many times by these employees. You know, as mayor, I've had a chance to work with a lot of these individuals who've been recognized this evening. And I know firsthand, we've had to pivot so quickly. You know, the first meeting where I was installed and council member Ding was installed, it was virtual. And we were all trying to figure things out. And, you know, we're at a much better place now. We want to go back, but at this time we cannot. But I wanted to applaud everyone, those who've been recognized and those who have not, you know, for not only innovation, but persistence, because it doesn't always work the first time, but we found ways, and employees have done some crossovers, maybe things that they haven't done before. They stepped up to the plate and started to get involved and kind of expand, you know, what their current roles had been. And I really appreciate that, because not everyone is willing to do it, but it seems like our city have been very fortunate to have such some great staff. And of course, the leadership with our city manager also helps a lot, and appreciate your efforts. But this is an evening of milestones, of achievement, and we wish, you know, we could do more, but at this time, you know, we will leave it at this, here with our presentations, and hopefully the future we can do more. But you know, the only thing constant these days has been changed. Within a week, things have changed, and I think the months ahead promise to kind of bring the same kind of change. We don't know what else is going to be taking place, but I do really appreciate everyone's willingness to make it work, and it just makes it a better place to serve. And I think our community could feel it. I've gotten so many compliments of you know, just the good work our city employees are doing, and that ranges from public works to our police, our fire, city hall, community services. It's just a really great place to be. It's a great team to be part of. So thank you to everyone. And that concludes our Employee Recognition Awards and our Service Awards. So Chief City Clerk, next item, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. COVID-19 briefing. Presentations will be made by Fire Chief Wallace and Police Chief Harris.
Okay, Fire Chief Wallace, you're on.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor Liao, and members of council and staff. This is Steve Wallace, Fire Chief for the City of San Gabriel. And right as I move into my COVID update tonight, I'd just like to echo the mayor's sentiments about how this is a great place to work, and congratulate everybody that won an award tonight for and all the employees for all the hard work that they do on a daily basis. As I move into the COVID update tonight, as you may have heard this afternoon, LA County has now reported a new daily record of confirmed COVID cases in the county of 7,593. This is data that is current as of today, and it does include data from over the weekend. This is a new daily record, and both Long Beach and the cities of Pasadena, their reports are included in these numbers. This puts the total cumulative cases in the county of Los Angeles at 408,396. The age range of 30 to 49 continues to be the most affected demographic. And we have a 12% positivity rate, which is up considerably from last week's 7% test positivity rate. We are experiencing what they're calling a surge within a surge. We expect numbers to continue to increase over the week as a result of the holiday last week and the amount of travel and the amount of congregate celebration that was taking place. Thankfully, our hospital and ICU bed availability is still very good in the county, but as these numbers increase, that'll become more and more strained. Just as an example, in the San Gabriel Valley itself, 16% of the non-ICU beds are with COVID patients. And as of last night, 28% of the ICU beds in the county are COVID patients. So that's up considerably from what we've seen in weeks past. And we're hitting the milestone of about 2,500 people now hospitalized for COVID within the county. Within the city of San Gabriel, our cumulative total is up to 1,059 cases. And that's nearly an increase of nearly 200 from our report 2 weeks ago. And regrettably, the number of deaths in our city has increased by 14 to a number of 92. Our skilled nursing facilities are, well, the majority are doing very, very well in this environment and in this surge. They're stable. We did have one facility that was identified about 10 days ago by San Gabriel fire personnel that was experiencing a surge. We were running 6 to 8 calls a day at the one facility for COVID-related cases and cardiac arrests and respiratory distress. So our Chief Davis started daily meetings with the hospital, with the facility administrators, also with the Department of Public Health, COVID Task Force, and the State Ombudsman. And I'm happy to report that as of today, that surge seems to be coming under control. Our responses to the facility have dropped significantly, and they seem to be getting a good handle on it. Just for numbers, out of 75 patients in that facility, 58 were COVID positive, and out of 40 staff, 21 were positive 2 weeks ago. The rest of the skilled nursing facilities across the city report good supplies of PPE, no staffing shortages, and as we notice in our daily call volumes, we're not really responding to the skilled nursing facilities as much as we were a week ago. So this seems to be stabilizing. As far as the fire department, I'm happy to report that we are fully operational. We are staffing all our positions to minimum staffing on a daily basis. However, we do have some effect in the fire department now with COVID. We hadn't had a confirmed case within any of our staff. And we do have now one of our paramedic interns from Mount San Antonio College that has come up positive. Utilizing contact tracing, we've been able to determine that his exposure to the crew was next to nothing or minimal. Because of the time he became symptomatic, it was greater than 48 hours from his last contact with the crew. And we've had no one else on that shift report any sort of symptoms. We did have one other member that got very ill for a few days, has been asymptomatic, and happy to report as of tonight has had a second negative COVID test and will be returning to work. Our PPE stocks are adequate, and we're still filling them with our normal supply chains. We're reinforcing our messaging of masking, distance, isolation, and hand washing within the department. I'd like to ensure that our public safety is intact and operating, and that it is safe to call 911. It's safe to go to the hospital, and please don't hesitate to call for our services when needed. I know earlier on in the pandemic, there was a lot of hesitation because they were concerned that we might bring it into your house. The ambulances weren't clean, but I would love to assure the public here that everything is very clean, very safe, and we take the decontamination and cleanliness very, very seriously. I'd like to also remind residents and the businesses and the staff that although we are now under more restrictive orders from the health officers and potentially from the state, the masking, distancing, and hand washing and working remotely where possible is going to help slow the spread, which in turn helps maintain our hospital capacity, which is going to be vital to getting through these next few weeks. With that, I'd like to pass the mic to Chief Harris.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. For the police department, this will be a very brief COVID report. I'm proud to announce that we are operating at 100% full service to the community, meeting all of our service metrics. We are looking really good with regard to our PPE stores. We have a lot of stock due in large part to members of the community and donations that we've gotten, so we're very appreciative of that. We have not experienced any upticks in any specific types of crime related to any of the ongoing COVID issues we're dealing with. And we are really trying to evaluate new approaches as new health orders come down as to how we're going to move forward. Some of the interesting things for the community first is the thank you that we have to keep and continue to put out to you folks in the community for all of the voluntary compliance we've been able to enjoy. You've been very helpful in mitigating some of the factors that other cities are really experiencing some significant issues. So our hats off to you for the things that you're doing. As far as approaches for the new health orders, like the mayor said, the word pivot is something we should be using quite a bit because we're having to do that on almost a daily basis. We're having to deal with orders that come down from the state, the county, and elsewhere. And we will continue to do that. The police department will continue to bring the energy and going out there and ensuring that all your law enforcement needs are met. As far as enforcement and those issues, we are putting out information that we are still seeking the voluntary compliance, which has been so helpful in mitigating these issues. We will, however, take active enforcement in situations that become egregious, but we really are enjoying the benefits of you folks doing what needs to be done, so we appreciate that. Aside from that, we've had one exposure of late inside of our organization, but that person is quarantined, and we will see if there's any additional or indirect exposures that come as a result of that. But he's asymptomatic and doing well, and I will keep everybody up to date. That really is the long and short of it for the police department. We will continue the energy and moving forward. And with that, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, both chiefs. I also want to thank you for your honesty about the situation that's taking place with COVID. And I know that has been a question by many, have our first responders been exposed to COVID? And I'm glad you are sharing that information and sharing the precautions that are being taken, because that also keeps our not only our city staff protected, but also our residents. So thank you for your honesty. Does anyone, any of my council colleagues would like to have any questions? Councilmember Poole?
Thank you, Mayor. No, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to again thank our police, fire, and every member of our City of San Gabriel team, and to the public, just continue to stay safe and healthy. Wear the masks, keep social distance, avoid crowds and when in public, wash your hands when you get home, and hopefully we can keep our own community here as healthy and safe as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Lau. I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Lau.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, actually, I just, want to report that we had a meeting yesterday from the Economic Development. We talked about how we're going to help the small businesses, especially the small restaurant owners. And a good thing is, yesterday, Governor Newsom just announced that he's going to have $500 million in grants, and this will be given out to small businesses, 25,000 each. And one thing that he commented is, he's recommend that the city can give the 25,000 to small restaurants, especially within the city, and these restaurants can provide senior meals or any kind of meals for serve a low-income community. So I think that's a great idea. However, I right away I have people that ask me, "Oh, how can I qualify? How can I apply for that $25,000 grant?" So I have a question for our community development RNA. And do you know anything about that? How can they apply for this grant?
Good evening, Mayor, Council members. Vice Mayor Liao, we haven't received specific information just yet. As it becomes available, I am certain we will put that information out to our business community. So we are watching closely to see when that information will be available and what the parameters are for businesses to apply. So when it is available, we will certainly get that information out as we do with everything else.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, well then, next item, please.
Public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the City Council on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the San Gabriel City Council. And Madam Mayor, we do have one comment tonight. It is from Sean McMorris, San Gabriel resident, and reads as follows. Honorable Mayor and City Council, I am writing to continue to advocate for the employment of formal contracts whenever the city outsources services. It is concerning that City Hall has not had formal contracts with people and entities over the years for certain long-term services. I was happy to see that the city's towing contract was finally competitively bid out and that the police department engaged in a vetting process for the contract that I thought was fair and thorough. However, I believe that process was undermined to a substantial degree when the city council voted to essentially ignore the police department's vetting process and recommendations. I personally do not object to the awarding of multiple contracts, although I do think that more than 2 is excessive and unnecessary. Rather, what is concerning to me is the rationale that some on the city council employed to justify ignoring the police department's recommendations in order to award a contract to a company that scored the lowest on the SGPD's grading scale. The council's primary justifications for doing so were 1, that the towing company in question had been informally providing towing services to the SGPD for a significant period of time, and 2, that the towing company was San Gabriel based, which evidence suggests is not actually true given the company's new ownership. Regardless, employing such superficial criteria biases the selection protocol and undermines the bidding process. Furthermore, awarding a contract to a company that essentially failed to meet the minimum standards of the vetting process presents the appearance of undue influence and cronyism. To be clear, I know none of the towing companies who applied for the contract. The concerns I raise are not meant to malign any of the companies who applied for the city's towing contract, but to point out that the decision-making process utilized by some on the council for awarding this contract to a company that essentially failed to meet the SGPD's minimum standards is troubling. The city's procurement process is very important, so the protocols and criteria employed to ensure that process is fair and ethical should not be dismissed so cavalierly. I hope the 3 towing companies all work out for the SGPD, but I also hope that the City Council will more ardently respect the function of a fair and ethical procurement process for future city contracts. And Madam Mayor, that concludes the comment.
Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion unless a member of the City Council or public requests separate discussion. Madam Mayor, we have received one comment from the public for item 4F, which I will read at this time. The comment is from Sandy Roscoe, Executive Director of the San Gabriel Chamber of Commerce, and reads as follows. Good evening, Mayor Menchaca, Vice Mayor Liao, and Council Members Ding, Harrington, and Pu. As you well know, even though Supervisors Catherine Barger and Janice Hahn fought hard in opposition of closing down outdoor dining again in Los Angeles County, they were outvoted 3-2. I believe this is absolutely crushing for our restaurants and is beyond tragic, especially considering the thousands of dollars the restaurants have spent to comply with mandated health orders so they could reopen. Many of us called and wrote in asking the supervisors to please keep outdoor dining open, continuing to follow all health protocols that were already in place. I'm writing to you tonight to ask our San Gabriel City Council to please do whatever you possibly can do to come to the aid of the restaurants in San Gabriel. The county announced this morning they are launching a $30,000 Keep LA County Dining Grant Program. Applications will be accepted beginning Thursday, 12/3 at 12 o'clock a.m. The Chamber has notified all our member restaurants, and we have posted this information on our website and social media. Of course, we all realize this will not be nearly enough to meet the unbelievable demand, but it is a start. I am hopeful that tonight, as you discuss options for the city's community development block grant funding, you will discuss possibly allocating these funds to San Gabriel restaurants. Further, since the city is not funding the Chamber for the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year, perhaps the $31,680 budgeted for the Chamber could now be allocated for our city's restaurants. Another idea would be to reduce the amount of their business licenses since they have not been or are not able to operate fully or at all. The San Gabriel Chamber is fully committed to come alongside our restaurants, and we are encouraging the community at large to do the same by purchasing food and also gift cards. We are hopeful the City Council will get creative as possible to save San Gabriel restaurants, especially in light of the city's current marketing campaign of Shop San Gabriel, Support San Gabriel Businesses. And Madam Mayor, that concludes the comment.
Okay, thank you. Okay, would any council member like to pull any items for separate discussion? Okay. I see none. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
A motion to approve?
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
So I have first and second. Okay, there's no further discussion. Chief City Clerk, please take the vote.
Councilmember Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Pu,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Liao,
Aye.
Mayor Menchaca.
Aye.
Motion passed by a vote of 5-0.
Great, thank you. Next item is public hearing, and there is none. Next item, item 6, is new business. There is none. So next item, Chief City Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no comments for the second public comment period.
Thank you. Next item, City Manager's Report. Mark.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Besides wishing everybody a happy kickoff to the holiday season, I hope it's going to be as good as it can be for folks. I did have one question for the City Council. We will have our December 15th meeting, which is 2 weeks from tonight. We continued, as you'll recall, we continued the self-storage item on San Gabriel Boulevard to that night, and we'll have some additional information that the council requested for that item. Because we're holding that council meeting that night, we've added a couple of items. We're going to keep it as light as possible, but there will be a couple of consent calendar items and then an item that we have moved up from what was on our January agenda. So all of that to say, since we're having that meeting on the 15th of December, we don't have to have the meeting on the 5th of January. So I wanted to gauge the council's desire to cancel that meeting. It does save us from having to get an agenda out in the week between Christmas and New Year's, which we're happy to do if council would like to read an agenda over the New Year's weekend. But I'm guessing that council would probably like that vacation as much as we would. So all of that to say, do I have any concerns from council of canceling that January 5th meeting? Okay, I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and happy holidays.
Thank you, thank you. See you on December 15th. We'll be back. Okay, next item, council comments and conference meeting reports. Vice Mayor Lau.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So today, attend the SCAG Economic Summit. They talk about unemployment rate in our area, especially in Southern California. Overall is 10.4% currently. And the, well, I guess LA County is about 12%, and Orange County is doing better, is 7.5% unemployment. And the worst group of people that hit hardest is the low income. You know, anyone that makes less than 27,000, this type of jobs lost about 35%. So yeah, and however, I think SCAG is pretty confident, you know, because they are trying to develop its strategic to try to include everyone, you know, inclusive economic development strategy. So I hope, you know, for next year we'll do so much better in Southern California, and especially right now, you know, the governor announced that $500 million grants, and certainly can help our local businesses. And hopefully we will see another CARES Act before January 20th, who knows, but, or HEROES Act after new president installed. So yeah, we'll just keep our hopes alive and see, you know, everything will be turned around. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other updates? Councilmember Pu.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, on November 19th, I chaired the first meeting as chair of the San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments Transportation Committee meeting. And we reviewed several items, but I'll just highlight two for the council here and the community. The first is that something that has been ongoing, but will be kicking into full gear in the new calendar year is the San Gabriel Valley Transit Feasibility Study. This is a study that was, the genesis of it, it comes out of the fact that the east side extension of Metro Gold Line is now no longer going to South El Monte along the 60, but down the 5 to Washington Boulevard in Whittier. So the purpose of the study is to see how we can improve mobility, I think particularly along the 10 and 60 corridor. I'm working with the COG staff as well as folks at Metro, as well as other committee members are doing so to try to get as much bang for the buck as we possibly can out of this study so that we can try to find solutions for mobility, traffic congestion in our area. And because currently I think there's not much that's been either done or planned, particularly for our area, which is more along the 10 and 60 corridor. The foothill, Gold Line obviously helps for traffic and congestion along the 210, but the 10 and 60, I think, have been left out in cold a little bit with respect to that. So in the future, I'll definitely bring back further updates as that study moves along. The RFP for it is now publicly available, and I think we will be awarding that contract through the COG early in the new year. Secondly, I believe Metro has amended the Measure R and Measure M highway program criteria. And this is significant because these were dollars under Measure R and Measure M that were supposed to be dedicated solely for highways, meaning the expansion of highways, adding lanes, things along that nature, maybe, being able to redo interchanges, freeway interchanges and so forth. But these new amendments include a lot of, now allow for those monies to be programmed towards local streets. And a lot of those, the added criteria go towards complete streets, bus infrastructure, first and last mile solutions. It's a longer story as to why this effort came about, but suffice it to say that now some of these highway dollars may be eligible to be used for local street improvements. And again, I see that as a positive that we can maybe use more of those funds for active transportation, for transit infrastructure, for improvements that cities can then use, as opposed to those dollars being specifically just only dedicated towards highways. So just wanted to highlight that as another thing that is happening right now as we speak at the Metro level. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to give an update? Councilmember Dean?
Yeah. I'm glad to hear from the council member Poole regarding the highway, the fund, if we really can help our city infrastructure, city the street pavement. Yeah, it's a good news. So
well, no, I specifically didn't promise that, but I just wanted to highlight. I mean, there could be potential opportunities.
Okay.
The COG does already have a list of specific projects that are, but it could be an opportunity in the future. So, and if it does become for sure, I will bring it back for council and staff consideration.
Good effort, Councilmember Dean.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. The current comments regarding the because the new county order, the outdoor dining. Okay, some. I just hope because the CDBG fund, it's already have their own guideline. I hear about from Harmony, so we cannot do any change on that. But is there anything we can find out future have some fund or care fund? because this kind of outdoor dining, the restaurant owner, they spend the money on that. Okay, some they rent, but maybe they have contract. But some it's they purchase, they buy the tent they already invest some money on that, but suddenly they cannot do any business. It's really hurt them. So I just asking the staff to help. Is there anything we can help to this kind of restaurant owner to some dollar amount? But it's a good news from the maybe like Vice Mayor Liao. It's state already have this kind of fund. That's good. That's great. If just in case don't have it, so for our city, if still for a new CDBG fund or care at the fund, okay, maybe we can work out to help this kind of restaurant owner to support the local business and also show our the city because we encourage you that do the like outdoor dining, but finally they cannot do it, right? It's really hurt them. So I hope our city can help them, whatever we can come out of a reality amount to help them. Yeah, that's my comments. Thanks.
Madam Mayor, can I echo that?
I just wanted to mention that I know our economic team is on it. It just came out today. That particular grant, my understanding, it's 30,000, but it's for restaurants with under 50 employees. So, which I know is a good piece of our, restaurants have less than 50 employees. But I know you got the devil's in the details. So give our economic team a chance to kind of look at the fine print. And I'm sure they'll share that just like they have with everything else that comes up with our business community. So that's it. And we can also have, I don't know if in 2 weeks we'll have anything definitive, but maybe we can get an update also if it's available. But again, things are changing daily, weekly. So who knows in 2 weeks what we may have or may not have anymore. So Vice Mayor Lau?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I agree with Councilmember Ding because all these restaurant owners, spend money setting up the outdoor dining tents, and some have to rent for $3,000 a month. So it's very expensive, and now they cannot do any business at all. And remember, we had about 450,000. Maybe Mark can correct me. And that's from the CARES Act funding. And by December 30th, we have to spend that money. The CARES Act fund has to be spent. And so if we don't use it, I guess we set aside for emergency situation or I don't know, but I think right now the restaurant business, they are hurting and they need our help. So maybe we can use that funding or portion of the funding to help the restaurant owners. So,
well, that would be a good item, agenda item, perhaps in 2 weeks once we have everything.
Yeah.
We understand where we really stand. Mark, and I believe you wanted to chime in. I believe the monies have already been spent, right?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you very much. We are already cleared by the state for those. I think it's about $490,000 is what we received. And we've received approval from the state that all of our allowed uses were approved or allowed, so to speak. And so we've already allocated those funds. They have gone into our contingency fund for the year to make up for our unexpected expenditures that we're going to have. But once we find more information on that state grant program, we'd be more than happy to bring that back. I'm sure we'll have more information in 2 weeks by the December 15th meeting. And then any future CARES Act or other funding sources, we would be more than happy to bring back a program that fits what Councilmember Ding and Vice Mayor Liao are asking for. Be happy to do that.
And that's a good item for the economic development team, ad hoc council. I forget what your name is, the ad hoc subcommittee of Councilmember Ding and Vice Mayor Lau. You can have your the subcommittee can continue on with those conversations separately and then come back to the council as a whole for further discussion. But that's definitely an agenda item.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Harmony, their team do the really good hard working for help our the local business. Yeah, I hope they can continue to find some good way to help especially right now for the restaurant owner. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other comments? Okay, well then I have a couple. First of all, just a reminder, we have our HERE Commission virtual town hall meeting this Thursday, December 3rd at 6:30 p.m. You must RSVP by emailing herecommission@sgch.org, and you'll be sent more meeting information. So far, we've had quite a few RSVPs, so it is exciting. Councilmember Pooh and myself, will be hosting, and it's an opportunity to have an open town hall meeting, but virtual, of course, to discuss what the HERE Commission is and to hear our community. And we will be responding to questions. City Manager Mark Lazaretto will be our facilitator. The town hall meeting will also be streamlined on the San Gabriel YouTube channel, so it will be a public meeting. Also a reminder to those who are still interested, again, we've had a good response. We have more than the 7 spots that could possibly be filled, but we are still accepting applications for the HERE Commission. The deadline is December 15th. And all this is on our website. And so I welcome everyone to go to the website for more details. And then second, we do have our first virtual holiday tree lining video. It came out this evening at 7 o'clock. So it's now available on our city YouTube channel. The video includes a visit from Santa and holiday messages from council, and in multiple languages. So no excuse not to view it. Everyone should be able to understand it. We have Chinese, English, and Spanish. So please take an opportunity to look at it. And then lastly, I know it's going to be a little bit of a different holiday, but I want to applaud our Community Services Department. They do have their own newsletter, so you can always sign up for that. But they have a whole menu of different holiday events, all modified, all safe, but started off with the virtual tree lighting. So thank you to Community Services for putting that together. But other holiday activities include, and I'm just kind of reading from their newsletter, it's called Story Time with Santa's Elves. So they have reading time. They have a box pickup, so you can pick up the books, and it includes part of the registration, includes a book that will be read so everyone can follow along, hot cocoa for 4, and then the Zoom link. They also have letters to Santa, so Santa will be responding to all those wonderful children who are writing to them. And I think someone needs to mute themselves. We also have holiday greeting cards for seniors. So they will be writing cards to our seniors who live in the community. And so they are looking for youngsters to volunteer to make the cards and write some special messages for our seniors in the community. There's also the holiday home decorating contest that was being done, I think 5 years ago by one of our nonprofits, but the city, or specifically our Community Services Department, has taken that on. And I know it's a huge task, but they're up to it. But there is a home decorating contest. You go online, you take a picture of your home, you choose a category, and they're all due December 10th. And we'll be announcing the winners on December 18th. And then lastly, there is a winter guide of kind of a sneak peek of the winter classes that are still being offered. So there's lots to do during these, at least the 3 weeks, next 3 weeks. And so I invite all of you to look. If you don't have a computer or you don't have access to the website, call them. Call Community Services. Someone will answer the phone and they can share with you their whole list of activities. And I know Rebecca is on the call still. Thank you, Rebecca, for staying on. Was there anything else you wanted to share or brag about your community services team? I'm not sure if I did it service, but was there anything else?
Nope, I appreciate that, Mayor. Thank you so much for the comments. We are happy to serve our community and happy to provide programs during this time. Thank you.
Great, great. Okay, and if there's no other comments, let's see, next item, closed session, none. And so the next regular city council meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 15th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Meeting adjourned at 7:56. Great. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, folks.